Welcome back to Hazy Headed, the Forging a Stoic mini-series, where we are reading meditations book by book or chapter by chapter and reviewing my thoughts and ideas behind them. So without further ado, this chapter, book 6, started off with a bang. And usually it takes halfway through the reading to really find that knowledgeable piece of wisdom that I can speak on. A lot of it is wise, but it's kind of repetitive. But this one started off very strong. Number 2, just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. Because dying too is one of our assignments in life, there as well to do what needs doing. This is all about putting your emotions to the side and getting done what you need to. I was surprised there wasn't more about discipline until it really dialed in on this chapter. But it is the idea that you should continue to work regardless of how you're feeling. Things need to get done either way. If you wake up and you're tired and you're not feeling ready, you just got to do it. You just got to push through the bullshit and continue. And this, I think, is a fundamental core principle of Stoicism, discipline, doing what needs to be done. It's kind of like a step-by-step. Because if you don't have that passion or you don't know what you're doing yet, you're not going to be disciplined, or you're not going to be willing to be disciplined, if that makes sense. So I think it is important to establish that self-belief, that idea that you can make your dreams come true, and then relentlessly pursue it. Work hard, dedicate your grind every day to continue. And I really like his output there. Tired or well rested. Doesn't matter. Next was up 21. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance. Your friends aren't really your friends unless they're willing to call out your bullshit. That doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. But how often do you see people trying to save face and they are just wanting to continue their bad habits? If you see your friend that way, I think it might be beneficial to tell them. Because if we continue to live in a lie of ignorance, what is the point of any of it? Isn't the whole idea to get better? I mean, if you were an alien and you were put on this earth today, what would you do? Would you just sit around, eat? Would you be a cow? Was that what you want to use your advanced consciousness for? Would you just want to eat every day, not exercise, complain, mope, be a victim? Why? Why would you want to live like that? Your mind is so powerful. Why not put it to the test? Even if it's not your full potential tomorrow, it's stepping stones to that full potential. If you had that ability, if you were blessed with this consciousness that is so advanced, why not try to make something of it? Why not be an intellectual? Why not be an athlete? Why not be a creative? Why not think of creative ways to help a business, help your own business? It doesn't make sense to me. So really try to surround yourself with friends that are willing to say, look, mate, you're a fuck up, or you're fucking up. Just as bluntly as that. You know, some people are afraid to do that, and I used to be as well. But you shouldn't. You have to speak your mind. You have to be present. You have to connect with someone on a level that you're uncomfortable with. That's how those friendships really develop. You know, if anyone's just going to be a pacifier to you and they're just going to let you flush your life down your toilet, that's not the kind of people you want to be around. As it says in the Bible, roughly speaking, iron sharpens iron, so we sharpen ourselves. If you're surrounding yourself with a goop, you're surrounding yourself with a shitty cutting board or a shitty stovetop, forged in fire. If you're surrounding yourself with a weak flame, you're going to be a weak flame. You're not going to have any burning desire. That energy is shared from person to person. That energy is sacred. That energy is built upon others and building a community. You should be selective with who you let into that community, and maybe the community itself won't be built till later. Maybe you have to build yourself before you can find that community. And that's where that perception is so important. Only you should have that. Only you should know who you are. Don't let anyone else dictate that. And once you do that, you'll find like-minded people everywhere. It'll be hard. Maybe you'll have to change scenery. But at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable with yourself, those opportunities are not going to come out of nowhere. So work on yourself. Be relentlessly disciplined. Be that person that you can be proud of. We're going to make mistakes. You're going to be a fuck up. We're all fuck ups sometimes, but it's your decision to continue, to climb, to go with the flow of life, to empower yourself. It is so important. So do it. I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing I've been taking from all these chapters is that you have such a limited amount of time and you have so much ambition, it's buried away. You've buried it upon useless thoughts like dirt. What is going on? Open up, live life, continue to prosper, regardless of your condition. Don't let your emotions control you, control your emotions. Well, that was a lot. But on to the next paragraph, 48. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities of the people around you have. This one's energy. That one's modesty, and others' generosity, and so on. Nothing is as encouraging as when virtues are visibly embodied in the people around us, when we're practically showered with them. It's good to keep this in mind. So this kind of goes back to the very first book, where he opens up and he's talking about his family, and he's appreciating the virtues. Marcus Aurelius is appreciating the virtues of his grandmother or grandfather, mother, et cetera, et cetera. And gratitude is so important. Think about it. If you do feel defeated, look at those around you that have qualities that you like to possess or you want to further or even highlight in yourself. Something I always say is highlighting the good in others is highlighting the good in yourself. I think when you view people that way instead of a detrimental, rumor-based way of living, you'll find that there's a lot of cool people out there that have qualities that you like. And that's not jealousy. That's not comparison. That is true growth because you are sitting down. It's not envy because you are wanting to highlight those traits. You don't sit down and say, oh, I lack these traits, so I feel so bad about myself. That's envy, wishing that you had something. Appreciating something is gratitude. So next time you see your friend crack a joke or has a deep conversation with you, or you learn different aspects from your friends, highlight that. Maybe say something. Maybe they'd love that. Maybe you saying, I really like how great of a creative you are. I think you're doing great at your job. I think highlighting those attributes is important, and you might make somebody's day. So yes, that was book 6, very discipline based, kind of a longer chapter, but all in all, the key takeaway is do it anyways. Do it happy, do it sad, do it mad. Emotions should not unwaver your confidence in your decision making. Thank you guys very much. Follow Hazy Headed for much more content. Very great time with you guys indeed. Love ya.